everyone. Today, we're going to be talking about Nightmare Alley. Nightmare Alley is a remake of the old classic made back in 1947. The movie is currently nominated for 4 Oscars, one being Best Picture. And I'm not going to go very deep into the plot because I think the elements of surprise and not knowing what this movie is about really is going to play into your enjoyment because, I was shocked by every little twist. I mean, sometimes they were a little predictable, which we'll get to that, but those little twists surprised me how the movie was taken into like a whole different direction. I was like, huh. So, all I'll say about the plot, it's a carnival slash fair thriller story starring Bradley Cooper. Like, even though it's a thriller, it's the least Guillermo del Toro thriller. Only the first third of the movie is as Guillermo del Toro as it gets. And if you don't know that yet, don't know what that means yet, I highly encourage you to watch more Guillermo del Toro movies. Maybe this might be a good start. Get a little bit feel for it. Now, the movie has amazing performances by every actor. It's not just a movie putting A-list actors into a movie and hoping it does well. The set design of this movie was amazing. Like the carnival scene especially stood out to me. The carnival felt like its own character, just like Gotham felt like its own character in the Batman movie. Costuming and sound design was great, but they did miss the mark on the music. I feel like they did create a great soundtrack or score for the movie, but they didn't really utilize it to the max. And I wish they added more songs. I don't know if it was because they couldn't buy the rights to some of the 1930s, 1940s music. But I feel like they really missed a great opportunity to make it more lively, feel more time period. Now, for the pacing and plot of the movie overall, the movie starts off great. That first act really reels you in and hooks you to your seat, right? Like you're at the edge of your seat. It's so mysterious, so ominous. Bradley Cooper's character does not say a word for I don't know what felt like 10 minutes. Like for 10 minutes, he didn't say a word, and I love that when a character can say so much without saying any words. Like his mannerism, his body language, very, very well done. Like all the characters surrounding him really made him stood out more. That first act of the movie is so ominous, so mysterious, so terrifying at times. And you'll see why if you do see the movie. But then in the second act, the whole movie takes like a whole 180. It takes a full 180 turn on what the feel and tone of the movie. Now, at the beginning, it does a perfect job of like shocking you. Like the shock value, great. It was very well done. It didn't feel cheap. But then there's like a point in the second act that it feels like it drags a little bit. And you'll know what I mean. I don't want to really spoil it, but there's a part where it starts to drag a little bit, and it feels like the problem going on in the second act is being stretched out. And not in a good way. I mean, it could have been solved a little bit more easier. Maybe a few scenes can be cut. I remember my brother telling me this movie was feeling way too long and it's shorter than the Batman movie. I know I keep bringing up the Batman movie, but it's just the second recent movie I saw. Because that's the second act having a good shock. At the beginning, all of that second act is predictable after that. You know exactly how everything is gonna go, or at least have an idea of what's gonna happen. And it really sucks because the first act was full of surprises, and the third act, even though the second act kind of spoils some of the parts of the third act, at least you had some uncertainty on how the things you knew were gonna exactly happen. But yeah, no, I feel like some scenes could have been cut. Maybe the pacing could have been done different. Maybe new problems could have been added. It's just that second act pacing was very slow. And then when we move to the third act, all hell breaks loose, and the payoff is great. The payoff is great. It's just that you're like, finally we get to this buildup, right? And the buildup is great. It's just like it's a finally moment, and I don't think the movie was supposed to do that, But it does pay off at the end. So I really, honestly, really enjoyed this movie. The movie's available on HBO Max. Go watch it, it's one of Guillermo del Toro's. It's a Guillermo del Toro film. Like, it's very good. You can never go wrong with Guillermo del Toro, if you know what that means again. But seriously, I do recommend it. It's an 8 out of 10 for me.